How you doing, guys? Forever Ghost Dog here. I just had a couple thoughts I wanted to see about getting some feedback from anyone my voice happens to reach at this point in time. And if this happens to be you, thanks a lot for checking out the channel. Now, as far as bugging out or bugging in, when do you decide to say, all right, enough's enough, it's time to go? Is it when there's a national alert on TV? You know, those alerts you see come across the screen every so often, the weather alerts? Or is it when you see the news break out and you figure, well, you know what, now it's time to get the hell out of Dodge? Or is it just pretty much waiting until the National Guard knocks on your door and tells you you have to evacuate? But of course, by then you'd already have your bug out bags and everything ready. So when do you feel it would be time to go? You know, we've learned a lot of lessons from things like Katrina, Sandy, that people didn't go even when the government was being called, uh, when federal help and assistance was available. People were still there. There were times with Katrina when no one listened, and it was, I think they're still recovering from the situation because no one decided to pay attention and be ignorant to the fact of something happening to them. Uh, I don't know how many preppers in New York, but I know when the first attack on 9/11 happened, not the one with the planes, the first one. A lot of people don't even remember that. A lot of people were getting prepared then for a terrorist attack, and then the second one happened with the planes, and that was bad. So when do you feel it's time to leave? That's number one. Uh, Number two, another thing I was looking at, and I've seen quite a few videos on and TV shows, communication. If you do have a secondary location of family members, how do you plan on getting in contact with them if, for example, cell phones go out? Because during a catastrophe, power is going to go to first responders first, and everything else is no longer a priority. So how are you planning on communicating? I've seen some ham radios, pretty cool. Something I'm thinking about getting into as a next step, probably next year, of course, after tax time, if the world's still around by then. With the whole 2012 things driving everybody crazy with the zombies, blah blah blah. Uh, but they're close to the $200 range. I know family radios are an option, but it just depends on how big of the area that you happen to be in. How do you plan on communicating? Uh, and I just wanted to get someone's feedback as far as what will be a good option. Because I do know one thing, as far as it goes, if something was to happen, regardless of what it is, the first one people are going to look at are the people who were prepared. We'd be in very, very short supply because there's a lot of individuals who swear that FEMA or the government's going to swoop in and with the S on their chest and save the world. And a lot of people don't seem to realize even now that things like that doesn't happen. But they're blind to the fact and still closed-minded, unfortunately. But of course, you know, there's a lot of people that know better. Um, Another thing too, what um, what are you ready for different situations? I know a lot of areas are different. New York area could, depending on where you are, could have severe snow. And if you live in an area like that, then of course you're already prepared for that type of scenario. So I just want to know, in general, depending on what region you happen to live or what the weather is like, what are you preparing for as far as anything weather related, not 2012 related, anything weather related, because that type of feedback, depending on where you are, could definitely help out other preppers like-minded like myself. Because the thing is, let's suppose you were in, like my situation, I'm in New York. I might have to go across state to avoid whatever catastrophe. I need to know what type of things I will need to survive in that environment because I'm no longer in mine. and hopefully being as resourceful as many of us obviously are, maybe that'll help. So, any ideas? I definitely appreciate it. All the views that you guys have viewed so far, I definitely appreciate that. Like, subscribe, definitely appreciate that. Other than that, hope everybody's doing well, and hope you guys stay safe.